Okay, so now on to Sonia's Young Soul Saturdays, man. This is also an extended series that happens once a week, and it's going to happen for a couple of weeks. It'll probably finish at the end of April. This over here is Stephen Wilson. Never heard of this artist, Stephen Wilson Jr. in fact. It's Holler from the Holler, but there is a message over here before we even get started. The music video is very graphic and may be disturbing for some. Okay, Stephen Wilson is a singer-songwriter from rural southern Indiana. Self-described as Death Cab for Country, he draws upon indie rock, grunge, and country to create distinct sounds and is influenced by artists as diverse as The National, Willie Nelson, and John Mellencamp and Nirvana. Okay, before we even get started with that, just to let you guys know about the Harmony of Hearts, I still have a couple that I need to finish off. We will finish off by mid of next week, by Wednesday. Just bear with me. There was a lot that I actually took. I actually took in more than I expected, but it's okay. I mean, they will all be delivered, as you know. Yeah, so there's a slight delay. I wanted to actually finish them by yesterday, but I was just unable to. But by Wednesday, we will. I'm not taking anything on until all of those are done, as well as the 535 Awards series for the winners. Once those are complete, then I'm going to be launching my own personal series. If you guys want to book Monarchy of Queens, which is the current campaign that we're running, but it's only for the other reactors. It's for Alex, Magnify, and Wolf. Links are all down in the description. They've got availability. I don't have the capacity right now. I just want to finish what we've got right now. And then I am currently prepping for my limited edition series, of which there will only be 10 booking slots available. If you miss it, you miss it. Unfortunately, I'm not reopening that form for anybody that asks for me to open it, or can they join. Once 10 is booked, it's booked, right? There's a lot of work that's going to go into that series, and it's completely different. It's unlike anything you've seen on YouTube from a reaction channel. And I think you guys will absolutely love it. So that's why it's limited, and that's why it will open up on the 15th, and it will drop in mid-April. That's how much work that goes into each series. So yeah, so just to let you know. Anyway, just bear with me. Obviously, I'm chatting with you guys individually via email or via WhatsApp, and obviously managing your expectations as best I can. Holler from the Holler, Stephen Wilson Jr. Hope you guys are having an awesome Saturday. Let's rock and roll. Let's see what we've got over here. Volume up, please. Let's go. Okay, so it's graphic contents for those of you. Okay.
Daddy's fist and the Jackson County prison. Can't cut a bleed stain on my kitten. I came from the mud with a low-life water. Sailors wearing single parent, double wide squatter. Wild child coyote kid without a collar. Trying to get by on a high and a dollar.
So he says dodging daddy's fists, right? So as a child. Now this obviously happens quite a lot in society though. We've got a lot of domestic violence abuse. Actually, South Africa is probably one of the highest in the world with regards to domestic violence. And it's a tragedy because it's just weak men that do that kind of shit. And the thing is that people will look as if like, okay, no, men need to actually be feminized. Men need to be sort of like toned down. No, it's actually the complete opposite. Men need to have that masculine streak in them all of the time, and their fathers are unbelievably important to them because their fathers teach their sons how to control their emotions, right? You get a school shooter when there's no father in the house. There's no stable father figure in the house, right? That allows for those kids to actually channel their emotions correctly. The mother ain't going to do that. The mother isn't going to be that prevalent. At least there's data in this. There's literature on this, and the father figure is unbelievably important, specifically for boys. A stable father figure that says just because you get angry, just because you get emotional, doesn't mean that you can go out and do whatever you want to do to other people and affect other people's lives negatively, right? You need to channel that energy, and you need to be productive with it, right? And it teaches discipline, teaches motivation and things like that. The kids that kind of grow up into these kind of men are the kids that I saw it with my own father as well. My father was in this realm, unfortunately, and you have to look like, you have to go back and you have to look at their past, because my father didn't grow up with a father, right? My father, unfortunately, his mother died, or my grandmother died when he was 10, right, of a brain tumor. My grandfather was like, well, I'm not going to look after two kids because it was my father and my uncle. I'm not going to look after two kids, it's too much. Kept his favorite, which was my uncle, then sent my father off to boarding school, and then just left him there. And didn't even go visit him. Like, he just left him there. He went from that to the army straight away, right? Served in the army for like 5 years, and things like that. So he's got psychologically, he's still a child, because he yearns for that. Like, he never grew up, he never saw, there was never a father figure to actually channel his emotions correctly, right? And then, yes, then he had a very unstable life, and it landed up in a lot of domestic turmoil, right? When I was a child. Now, you can break that cycle, right? You can either, be the apple that falls not far from the tree, or you can break that cycle and be like, well, I'm never going to be like that. I'm never going to be like that man, right? And you can completely change it. But that takes a lot of psychological awareness and introspection, and a lot of work for you to get to that particular position. And you need to be willing to get to that space, essentially, and not to be stuck in your victimhood, and not to be stuck in your unaccountability for your own actions, and just pointed to your past. Past is your past. At the end of the day, you're your own person. You need to be able to control that for yourself, or else the cycle is just going to repeat itself. Carry on.
Trying to get by on a high and a dollar. It's the salt in the sting, fire in my veins. Hear it when I sing. It's the pain that put the holler in the holler. Fighting just for fun in the middle of nowhere with no.
That's a bar. Bored as a 2x4. 2x4 plank of wood. Bored as a 2x4. Fire. That's a bar, man. That's a nice little double.
Fighting just for fun in the middle of nowhere with nowhere to run. Hell-bent, broken souls seeking salvation, where the preachers all preach the book of Revelation. $100 Chevy was my ticket out in the valley of the shadows, always with me, no doubt. I came from the mud where the low lives waller, sailors wearing single parent, double wide squaller. Wild child.
And it's sad as a young boy with all that pent up energy, and obviously this happens. I mean, girls get affected by it as well, but they get affected psychologically in very different ways. The way boys get affected from this kind of thing. Boys become very aggressive, right? And they become very destructive to the environment around them, and destructive to themselves, right? Because they are unable to channel that anger and that energy in a more sort of productive manner, right? It was actually something else that I actually wanted to say about that, but I actually completely forgot what it was. I don't know, my mind just went blank. All of a sudden, my mind just went completely fucking blank. Anyway, let's see. Hopefully it'll come back to me. a man that does that to a woman should absolutely be beaten the fuck up, no doubt, right? It's just very traumatizing and very devastating when it has to come from a child within the house that's trying to protect their mother because the father is such a weak prick that he can't channel his emotions correctly, right to the point that he actually has to hurt a woman. But yeah, anyway, carry see, when it gets to that, sad. Because that psychologically is his life destroyed. Not only that, like from a physical perspective, in terms of like just environment, psychologically, he's going to live with that for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? That he's done that to a human being. And even though the man deserved it, but the fact that he had to go and inflict that because there were no other options is just absolutely devastating.
I was kinda quiet as a kid growing up. I was kinda quiet as a kid growing up. Yeah, I was kinda quiet as a kid growing up. I came from the mud where the low lives waller. Sailors wearing single parent double wide squalor. Wild child coyote kid without a collar. Trying to get by on a high and a dollar. It's the salt and the stain. Fire in my name. Hear you when I sing. It's the pain that put the holler. Pain put the holler. Pain put the holler in the holler.
It's amazing until the point that he actually started going crazy. It's the way they depict that nobody actually even saw him. Like he's right in front of you and you can see what he's going through, and people just sort of overlook that. And the only reason that they paid any attention to him is because he actually started screaming and losing his mind. And that often seems to be the case in these kind of situations, that you can see there's something there, right? And that's why you need like really good teachers, really good professionals, really good guidance teachers that can actually pick up on these things and actually talk to a child and get them into the right therapy programs to actually deal with those kind of things, right? Because a lot of the times it's either the child is so introverted that he keeps it all to himself to a boiling point, and then it actually snaps, and then he either harms himself or harms people around him, or it comes out in very aggressive bursts like this, where it's almost like a cry for help, right? Of which it really is, right? It shouldn't ever get that far. There should be better programs in place to actually deal with this, because in today's society, we are dealing with a lot more like this compounded with the fact that we've got the social media that plays into the psyche as well. It's actually quite a dangerous thing for kids. But anyway, carry on. Devastating for any mother or child to go through such a thing. Really is. But these are the kind of things that, when they say, oh no, this is graphic, people need to see this because this is reality at the end of the day. People need to see these kind of graphic videos because people tend to push everything away, all right? It's the same with the abortion issue. People need to see what an abortion entails, right? And then you would, and the reason why people don't want to talk about it and people don't want to see this kind of videos is because that it is vile. It is something that absolutely cuts straight to the fucking soul of a human being, right? And that's why people they want to shy away from that. They want to just talk about it as if it's like just some abstract idea. But this is the fucking reality of it. It's the reality of these fucking issues that need to be seen by people. You need to open up. It needs to burn a fucking image in the back of your mind. It needs to burn an image in the back of your eyelids so that it never comes out of that, so you actually understand the actual depths of the devastation that these kind of things are. Right. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think down below. That was cool. Actually, the song was very cool. The topic is a very important one. And I think that a lot more people need to be aware about this kind of thing, and a lot more people need to be aware of actually the actual dynamics and the structures within households in terms of why that is caused, why kids grow up like that, why kids grow up violent, why there are family members in the house that are aggressive and things like that. And I don't think enough people tend to see the overlying issues of this kind of thing. No one really wants to dig deep. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, let's move on. You guys let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.